everyone, and welcome to match day 4 of the first Choker Challenge Cup. I'm Malcolm Payne, an international master of chess from England. I'm honoured tonight to have my co-commentator Jeff Gross with me. Jeff is a poker professional with over $5 million in tournament earnings. Jeff will be offering insights into the poker in Choker, while I'll commentate on the fast and furious chess phase of this revolutionary new game. It often comes down to speed, it's not necessarily chess skill. And remember, you can get involved with Choker. Download the game from the Apple Store or Google Play. And also, of course, my thanks to Chess24 for hosting this great event, and welcome to everyone from wherever you happen to be viewing this match. Tonight, we've got the wild card, Alessio Gallucci, who has been selected from the Choker community, playing via the app. He's playing against Alexandra Botez, one of the most prominent chess streamers, a woman FIDE master with, well, excellent chess skills. We don't know much about her poker. Jeff, this is going to be a completely different match from last week when we had two really skillful poker players, but both very decent at chess. Perhaps back to what we've been used to, do you think, over the first over match days one and 2?
Yeah, no question. I think last week it was a treat and a bit of a different type of matchup with Bill and Matt being poker centric. So here I think back more to the fundamentals in chess. And I think Botez has a little bit of pressure. You know, she's the Twitch personality. She plays a lot of chess and people know her. But the opponent today, Alessio, I don't think he's a slouch by any means. I think he's going to be able to compete and able to win. So I think the pressure's on Miss Botez to get the win today, although I think she's going to have a difficult match.
Now, we have the game starting. I can see Alexandra, I can see Alessio.
All right, well, here we go. Let's see.
Yep, okay.
The
Alexandra's black, betting phase. The third phase is going to be self-evident that I didn't mention when they play chess against each other and play for checkmate in the usual way. So this was a hand that we were talking about at the beginning, Jeff. That we figured this isn't a great hand. That it's possibly a fold, but Alexandra hasn't folded and she's been rewarded.
Yeah, this looks turned into a pretty strong hand. Getting the queen. I like Miss Botez. She has definitely got the advantage so far, and she's going to go ahead and pump up the pot, put a little bit of money in there.
Mm-hmm. She enjoyed that.
Actually, he's deciding.
Yeah, he's thinking about it. He's studied mathematics. He knows the odds. Oh, he's called. Gosh, he's got quite a weak hand. Oh, there you go. A queen.
Yeah, he's stuck in there. Got a nice big pickup, and he's going to decide. Looks like he's going with the check. And Botez is doing a little bet sizing up what she wants to do. Put pressure. She does click it over.
Wow.
Surely he'll continue. He does have the queen, I think, right? I mean, he's...
Yeah, I think it's queen, 2 pawns and 2 bishops, I think, which would be 17 points, which is decent. Okay, it's chess game time. This is the third phase. Looks to me like the hands are balanced in terms of point count, in terms of the strength of the pieces. So white gets to place his first piece, very sensibly putting a pawn next to the king to protect it. Alexandra copies that.
Yeah, and you can see though how big this pot is. So the size is 13,000. If each player, if you do not win this pot, you are down to 3,500 chips, which is 16.5 to 35. I mean, that in itself is really hard to overcome. So, I mean, they're playing for the majority of this right here.
Yes. No, everything's pretty much at stake. So, Alexandra, we were talking, I think, the last few weeks about how knights are very helpful to be put near your king. So I think she might she's going aggressive. She's going aggressive. Putting that bishop on the long
card out. Let's see if he can handle it early. She's going for it right away. This is, see a more attacking style here.
And straight away, the white bishop goes opposite the black bishop with a direct threat at the beginning of the game. So Alexandra covers that, puts a knight on the back rank, defending the bishop that was attacked by that bishop. So if I just draw a line there, so everyone, I'll be telestrating the chessboard You can see that was a danger, but Alexandra covered that with her knight. They're using quite a long time in the placement phase here, Jeff. They're using longer, I think, than any of the other players we've seen so far. That means they're going to have to play very, very fast chess.
In chess and choker, right? The 82 trillion combinations of options here, whereas in chess there's one to put the pieces.
Right.
So I guess there's a little bit, there's some thinking that's a big number to compartmentalize. But yeah, I mean, this is definitely a lot of time being used. So got to keep an eye on the clocks for sure.
There goes the queen, and that queen can also give check from that square. It's a bit of danger. Little bit of danger for black. So where's Alexandra going to put her queen? I would think she might put it here. I don't know. No, she's put it on c7. Okay, makes sense. So let the battle begin. Who starts with more time, Jeff? Let me see. 1-1-2 plays. Oh, almost identical. Amazing. So we've got a very, very. If I may choose a different game, bridge. We've got a very balanced hand. So check. First move is check. Check from the queen to the king along the diagonal there. And a block from Alexandra. That covers that fairly comfortably. Bishop takes bishop. Now queen takes bishop, I imagine, will be played.
How familiar with Botez's game? Is she speed? Is she one of the speed players? I know she.
Yeah, she plays a lot of speed chess.
Okay.
Yeah, she plays a lot of speed chess, I guess, when she streams. Now we've actually reached a position which should be a very, very, very easy draw. It'll be interesting to see if either side even tries to play for a win. I mean, I think it's going to be just play quick moves because you can't do much harm. It's knight and 3 pawns against bishop and 3 pawns, which is, very, very level. Maybe, just maybe, there's a small chance that white could try and push his pawns up there. I don't know, maybe to try and get a free pawn. I think Alexandra saw that already and tried to cover it. Okay, so now pawns are being exchanged. We've got a contact point for the first time. We have a contact point. The pawn on f5 that's just moved is attacking a pawn diagonally there. There we go. So those pawns can be exchanged. And that knight is in there putting a bit of pressure on these squares. Well, that's interesting. Pawn, so he doesn't recapture, he attacks the knight. The knight's going to have to retreat, but it's still pretty equal. But just watch out for this pawn. This pawn could become a little bit of a danger. Could just become nasty. But that's been very firmly blockaded. That was a great move. So king there, knight there, awesome chess because it's completely tied white down. And now maybe it's black's turn. Maybe it's Alexandra. Maybe she can start pushing this pawn down the board. Although it can't. It's blocked on that square. It can't go any further. How are the times? 32 against 51. She's blitzing him, Jeff.
Uh-oh.
She's blitzing him. He's in trouble. He's going to lose on time. Oh, that was a clever move. That was a brilliant move.
What's
that bishop move? Yeah, what you've got to do is you've got to find moves that are just real easy to play, that you can play very quickly. I used to say you should just use the rule of thumb, which in a real game of chess with actual pieces would be move the piece nearest to your thumb, but that doesn't quite work in this scenario. It's just who can move the mouse quicker.
Look at this. It's even.
He's caught her up. He's caught her up.
Yeah.
Oh, this is just going to come down to a fraction of a second. 17 against 22. Now what he needs to do, he needs to try and liquidate all the pawns. If he can get all the pawns off the board, then it'll be an absolute draw. There won't be checkmating material. You remember one of the games last week ended like that with no checkmating material. Well played, Alessio. By getting extra contact points, all the pawns are coming off the board. We're going to have a stalemate draw position. Okay, this is just basic technique. This position is just a draw. But who's going to run out of time first? Is she going to? She's got no mating material, so she can't win. Black cannot win. This position will be a draw at best. Draw, there it is. Repetition of the position. Gosh, I thought she was going to blitz him. I don't know what happened there. Suddenly she went a lot slower.
It took a lot of time. She got caught where she had Alessio made a very good move, which caused her to give up that. She had about a 20-second gap at 45 to 25. Actually.
She had into that with that incredible bishop move he played, limiting her knight, and she couldn't figure out what to do. So 2 pawns. So you don't necessarily fold on 2 pawns. Raise on 2 pawns. Jeff, this is very aggressive.
Bluff, man. There's bluffing allowed. Let's see it. Let's see if we saw in some other matches though that players just made the bluffs might have worked normally, but there was just sort of a willingness to go for it. So the bluffing didn't really work in the first day. Well, let's see.
Oh, now Alessio's got a slight edge here. He's got a rook against Alexandra's knight, so he's a little bit up. She's going to raise him again. Goodness me. I mean, he's got a very good hand. 16 points with one card to play. That's a good hand.
Yeah, we see the pot inflating all of a sudden. Oof. Up to 16K. So
he's all in.
Yeah. Okay, so and at that point, there's a promotion. Miss Botez is fired.
There's a promotion. Up. Fantastic. So when you get 3 pawns, your third pawn turns into a rook. And that just happened. You can see that denoted by the yellow card in the right-hand side at the bottom of the screen. So it's into the placement phase. Putting pawns around the king before you decide where to put your pieces. So Alexandra will probably put a pawn on, I would imagine, on d6. No, she's put it on g6. She's covering that right flank. She's put it on e6. So I've got an interesting screen here. I've got 2 chessboards fused together. There it is. That is actually g6. Okay, knight on the edge there. I'm not sure I like that particular knight. Don't think that's ideal. Yeah, there we go. Bishop attacking the knight on the long diagonal.
So in the first go that was a good result from Miss Botez with the draw at that point. She was. I
don't know. I think
right?
she might be. She had the lead in the clock. I think she was expecting to maybe win the game, but she was certainly ruffled by that amazing bishop move that Alessio came up with. I mean, that was a strong chess move. Okay, there goes the queen. Yeah. Oh, the placement phase is so much quicker this time. So much quicker. There's a nasty threat. That rook and queen together are threatening to cause complete chaos down the back there. That's checkmate. Black has to do something about that. Gosh, I can see Alexandra. It's almost like she says, I'm going to teach him a lesson. Is wagging that finger. Okay, there goes a queen. That defends against the threat. That defends against the threat, so that's 5. Let me see, we've got 1. Interesting. This is again level. This is again absolutely level. Queen, rook, and knight against queen, rook, and bishop. But the bishop, this is an interesting chess lesson. We've been talking about the relative strengths of bishops and knights, Jeff. Because this board's quite wide open, it's like a normal game of chess, choker, but with lots of pieces exchanged. There's loads of space for the bishop. You look at that bishop, you see how much scope it's got? Whereas the knight can only really hop about. So I think I definitely, on a theoretical level, have the bishop over the knight, but on a practical level, because the knight does that funny L-shaped move that makes it unique amongst chess pieces, it's really hard to deal with in speed chess. So it kind of balances out in this position. Alessio playing very sensibly, just moving his king to safety. And that, we're going to give everyone a technical term tonight for those people who are relatively new to chess. That bishop in that constellation there that I've highlighted with the red dots, that's called a fianchetto. That's a term from when, I believe in the Renaissance period when chess was first being played. So pawn to e3, that's a very good move, giving the king a little bit of air. That's it. King goes into a nice square. Notice how white's keeping all the pieces together. It's nice chess. Queen defends the knight, king defends the knight, queen defends the rook. Bishop moves to defend the queen, and actually I think Alessio might be thinking of doing the same maneuver. It's very cagey, this. Alexandra ahead on the clock again. First aggressive move of the game. Queen into enemy territory. Just looking, not threatening to take it, but just looking at that rook. Not threatening to take it. It's defended by the queen horizontally. G5. Wow. Normally, Jeff, you don't move pawns in front of your king voluntarily. That is a move that really weakens Black's king. I didn't like that move at all. Rook d7, threatening the queen. Maybe queen here, putting extra pressure on that pawn. This could be nasty.
Is that a blunder? Or do you think he had a plan? Was that maybe just not is that a sign of maybe...
I think Yeah, I don't think it was the optimal move, but actually it doesn't look too bad. The way that he's defending it now, he's harassing her queen non-stop. It's quite funny. Every time she moves her queen, he moves his rook and attacks it vertically. So they're doing this little dance. She's going to try and find a way of avoiding the repetition, I think, because she's ahead on the clock. But no, they repeated the position. And so the pot is split, and it's a draw again.
Wow!
Your prediction was right, Jeff. This we're getting a lot of choker for our money.
Yes. And as you see, though, the blinds are going up though here. So the big blind 1K, 2K. So I mean, it's getting close to going to be all in almost no matter what here. If there's any type of betting on any streets, so. I think also part of the poker skill and understanding too is if you get to a turn or I guess or the fourth card and you have a lot of the chips invested, it's at a certain point the pot odds, right? You don't want to just fold if you have so much chips in the middle, and you might have to just go with it. So it'd be interesting to see if there's any mistakes, if you will, or just sort of missing on that front where you get short and you just decide to fold when you may have to just go for it. But as you can see, the pot's already at 12K and there's still more cards.
Wow, not great for Alexandra though, because Alessio's got a queen. She hasn't got a queen. She needs a queen she needs a queen in the next card, or she's going to have a real problem.
Yeah, and the chips are going to go in the middle here.
Oh, she did. It came through. Oh,
got bailed out there. And they're all in. This is it.
They're all in with
unless it's a draw, but we've seen a couple so far, but this is all the chips in the middle here. See if someone can get it done. The placement phase, first clash at stake, still 0-0, even though we've been playing for a bit. This is definitely, I think, the longest, the most draws we've seen.
Yep. 2 consecutive draws. We haven't had that so far in the Choker Challenge. They've both got 2 pawns to put on the board. And then the heavy pieces are coming. Queen, Rook, Rook plays Queen, Rook, Knight, which is potentially a small advantage for Alexandra, but the Knight is very tricky in speed chess, so it's not as big an advantage it would be in normal chess. So you can see those blue dots, those highlight the squares in which it's legal to place the pieces. There goes the Knight near the King, as always. Keep it protected. But Alexandra's going to have 2 rooks, which she'll want to put on open files. Files in chess are vertical lines, not quite like the red line that I draw.
How important is it in terms of with your own pieces and setting up your own board, or how much attention do you need to pay here when you see your opponent placing their pieces? How big of it? How much are you adjusting for theirs, or are you just really worried about how your board fits together?
You've got to be reactive. You've got to pay attention to what they do. The first rule of chess is every time your opponent makes a move, you think, why did they do that? And you can see sometimes people, I think in the first game, a bishop came on the board and directly attacked a knight. But there's also, you've got to look at the line. So when I'm putting that red line down there, so Alessio has got to be aware of the danger there. So he might try and put some defense around that area, although he has a rook already to cover it. Okay, here comes the queen. Oh, that is mean and nasty. That is a brilliant move, because a brilliant placement. Queen is threatening the rook directly. Oh, that's very unpleasant. Okay, but it's being blocked. It was seen, and actually attack and counterattack. Look at that. The queen is threatening to come down there. So, wow. Very, very difficult to assess this. Very difficult to assess this. I think that Alexandra will want to go for this. She's got a rook against a knight, material advantage, wide open lines. I think she's going to try and go for it. Just don't think this rook here is particularly good. This one on d8 doesn't look great. Beautiful square for the queen. A dominating central square with a big threat. Wow, threatening rook down there, causing complete mayhem. That could be very serious. I wonder how Alexandra will deal with that. That's not easy to deal with. The queen, when you put the queen in the middle of the board, Jeff, it radiates power in so many different directions. So that's the first thing Alexandra tries to do. She tries to exchange it because it's such a powerful piece. And if she can exchange those queens, she's got good chances to win, because then she'll have rook and rook against rook and knight. That's 10 points against 7. That's something you can work with in Choker, I think. So Alessio should try and keep the queens on, which he does. Cost him valuable time. He's 20 seconds down. Check to the king. If the king runs away to the left, think he's got to watch out for the rook getting active. So he's blocked it with the knight. That was a clever move, but the rook can get active. That rook move I'm showing there on the left-hand side, I'm telestrating, that could be very nasty. But no, she's still focused on swapping the queens. He's gone for it. Now, 20 seconds, extra time, a rook against a knight. You've got to favor black here. Got to favor black. Now get that rook. Yep, that was the best move. This rook needs to be activated. You have to bring everyone to the party. Okay, that check can be blocked. Okay, she's moved the king instead. Get that rook active. Come on, Alexandra, get that rook active. You've got to do it. Get it down, and now she can get an attack going if she wants.
$70-47. At what point is it? I mean, obviously the clock is always you got to be pay attention to, but there's a certain point where I mean you're sort of handcuffed, right? If you get a big enough lead, you can just. Was there a safe zone?
20.
Is there a certain point where you've got to kind of really panic, a red zone, if you will? Is it 20 seconds or 30? Like, where do you start really?
Yeah, I'd say judging from the way these clocks work, 20 seconds is when you hit the panic button.
Right.
But I think it's also you can't let the opponent get a big lead on the clock, because otherwise they can just play a series of nonsense moves that don't do anything and just literally run you out of time.
Right.
So Alexandra's made a bit of progress. She's won an extra pawn here.
Showing some emotion there. She looked like she didn't like it. They're about even on time though. Again, this is
amazing. I think she's trying to jump in with the king. King's going berserk. King's like, God, absolutely in his guts. But actually, the knight is so clever. The thing about the knight is that when it's at close quarters, it's just a fantastic chess piece. It's covering 8 squares. Don't ask it to go from one side of the board to the other. But in a close quarter play, look at this, where I'm telestrating this. Oh, network connection has been lost. Goodness me.
That was quite a battle.
That couldn't have been closer. Actually, Alessio showed incredible defensive skill there. He was down 3 points. He had, it was 2 rooks and 3 against rook, knight, and 2. And he set up, I would say that even from a technical point of view, that is what we would call in chess a fortress. Alexandra could not make any progress. And Alessio was just moving his knight up and down, up and down, up and down. And that's something you can do real quick. So when you were talking about techniques for getting out of serious time trouble and making the maximum number of moves in a limited number of seconds, that's a great way of doing it. If you only have to play the same move over and over, then of course you can do that real fast. And that was very impressive play by him.
Alessio had to take a walk after that. That's there's getting beaten to me in steam, but that was that's unfortunate. You got to walk that off. Got to do a little
yes.
Calm yourself down. It's not a fun way to lose.
Yeah. Miss Botez white. Okay, this is the lousy hand. Bishop and pawn. That's only 4 points in chess. Pawns are 1, bishops are 3. In general, that's way behind the curve in terms of the number of points you want on your cards. Two bishops and 2 pawns. It's still not great for Alexandra. Alessio has got a very, very powerful hand already. He's got 16 points. 2 rooks, bishop, and knight. He could raise, or maybe he's going to try and draw her in for a bigger bet. Yeah, she's sizing it up. There it goes. She's raised him. I think he'd be happy with that. If he was to get a queen now, or even a rook, but a queen would be the ideal. 3 rooks, you get a demotion. So
decides to just call.
What's he drawn? Oh, yeah, he got a pawn. That's a bit of a blow. But this is going to be interesting. Actually, no queens on the board here. I wonder if that's going to affect either of them. I wonder if they're going to fold because they haven't got any queens. Whoa! Oh, she's just got all in. Yeah, she hasn't got anything.
Yeah, there's a bluff.
Going all in without a queen? Oh, goodness me.
Yeah, this is a tough decision. 5-4 clock against him.
Yeah, he's got to make a call. Oh, he folded.
Miss Botez showing some poker skills there. Wow. All right. And she's chirping. She's fired up.
Oh, that's tremendous.
Fired up.
That's tremendous.
She is. She's definitely excited. You know. No, you think maybe she feels bad for opponent loses internet connection? No, she just pushes it. You know, she goes for it. Goes for the jugular. Tries to put them all in on a bluff, and then starts out with a very strong hand here.
Indeed.
Wow. Oh
gosh. Oh, this is. God, we're almost on a maximum. We're on a maximum here. Queen and rook. Goodness. Queen and rook. You can't get any better than that. Your first two.
Oh yeah, they're gonna like their hands here. There's gonna be some big bets going.
Yeah. Ooh, all in.
And Alessio's gonna be happy to call all in with that start. Ooh, very strong hand.
Ooh, that's massive. He's got a queen and two rooks, Alessio. But you know, this we haven't seen very much of. But there was one incredible game, wasn't it, with Anna, when her opponent Raphael, he had two knights and he stuck them together, and she couldn't break it down. So this is Alexandra's chance to do that. She's got two knights, not as good as Alessio's rooks, but they can stir up trouble, or they can just be incredibly difficult to break down.
And again, you see the pot size, 14,000, a total of 20,000 in play. So Miss Botez does have a backup. If she doesn't win here, she would still have chips to continue. But this is a must win for Alessio here, or else he's going to be down 2-0.
Right. Yeah, she'd survive the big blind, wouldn't she? It's not up to 3K yet. So
yeah. Yeah, this is a important phase.
So they both put the same. Yeah, they put the same level of pieces up. So a 5-pointer, the rook, and a 3-pointer, bishop or knight. Again, I like this bishop. I like this bishop on the open board here, just threatening to go boom and give check to the king. That is nasty, very, very nasty. So white already has the initiative here. So Alexandra should probably put her knight in a defensive position. Yep, this she has done. But I would have actually put it one square further back, just covering that check. Because then she would have had two knights protecting it. Oh, wow, that's a power play. The queen threatening to come down here. That's going to have to be defended. Yep, covered with a black queen. But all right, this is a chance for Alessio. He's got far more powerful pieces, and he has, of course, the huge advantage of the first move. Playing white, I really like in this position bishop a4, pinning the knight, threatening rook takes rook check. Oh, that looks nasty. That looks nasty. Let's see how he plays it. Okay, we've got it from his point of view here on the stream. Bishop a4, yeah, there he's found it. Well played. Nasty. Very, very, very nasty. So there's several threats here. There's the obvious one, rook takes rook, but there's also another one, quite insidious one, which is queen potentially whizzing down there at some point to put pressure on the knight. It might not be possible just yet, but it's certainly an option. Okay, queen checks. She decides the best way to defend is to attack. So she comes and screams him down the ball with a check. King runs away. Wonder if rook takes rook check's possible now. That might be possible. That might be an interesting one to put the pressure on, because the king would have to take back. Because if that rook is currently tied up defending that bishop, she's thinking quite a long time, but she's ahead on the clock. She's got 25 seconds extra time. I think rook takes rook check is definitely a move here. Would definitely wind white up. Yep, she's played it. She played it with 10 seconds in hand. Yep, king takes, because as we discussed, taking with the rook would lose the bishop to a lateral capture there. So another queen check. Gosh, Alex, she's taken the initiative here. King back. That's very good chess, actually, because now there are, as far as I can see, there are no more checks. So, oh wow, queen here is now threatening mate, or at least it was, yeah, a queen there is mate. Black needs to be super careful. Super careful.
Take a look at the clock. Pretty even again.
Yeah. Oh, she's made an escape square. So that means at least the king can run if the check comes down. Bishop takes knight, exposing the king, and now the king is wide open along that 7th rank. Look at that number 7 there you see on the board. It's wide open. In with the check. Okay, this could be checkmate. This could be chokemate. This could be a chips mate.
This is... Oh, that queen. Nice move there, though, Miss Botez.
Oh, it's a wicked move, yep. Just keep checking, because if the queen gets a chance to actually come in and give a check at the same time, it'll be all over. So if... Oh, the king... Oh, she's just running into the center, just saying a prayer. Basically, that's just on a wing and a prayer. Another check now is going to be very, very unpleasant, or even get the pawn involved. Wow. He knows he's got to win here, but is he going to use all his time up trying to find it? 24 seconds. Okay, queen in. Queen in. Oh, but that's actually looks like a very good move, because look at these heavy pieces around white's king. Queen and rook. The king is caught in a vice. The queen is controlling that line. The rook is controlling that line. The black king has nowhere to go. The black queen can't give any checks. The knight, frankly, just a hopeless piece. A desperate move. It would not surprise me if there is a forced checkmate here. But he's got 18 seconds to find it.
Took a long time there.
Oh, rook there hitting the queen. Rook there hitting the queen. Now that rook can go there. Maybe our best shot here, frankly, is just to give up the queen and just try and confuse him. Now, surely it's checkmate. Surely this is going to be checkmate. Queen check. Well, the king can now run.
Whoa,
oh, the king lives to live another day. Queen check. 8 seconds, plays 12. King out in the middle. Queen there. Oh, God, that was pretty random. Queen goes back. Rook.
He's going to run out of time.
Oh, this is very clever play. This is very clever play by black. Oh, Alessandra, this is brilliant. Oh, the knight's in the game now. The knight's defending. All of a sudden, black is out of danger. Black is out of danger.
Wow.
Amazing. And so, white lost on time. Oh, gosh. Look at those marks left on the board.
It was hard to follow it then. There's so much... That was very rampant. Look at this. So now a 14-6 advantage. So it's not over, but Alessio does take the lead here. Very important for him to finish this off. Doesn't want to let her double up and get right back into it. So we can see. Let's see the chips. See the pieces. Black with the lead on the pieces so far. I wonder if Miss Botez will consider. I mean, she kind of can't really fold even. She's got money in the middle already. She's pretty short. Right. She's sort of committed here. But now she's so she's in. She's not going anywhere.
She's got the lousy hand though, hasn't she, Jeff? Bishop and pawn or knight and pawn is.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Oh, and she's not getting any more help.
That is that's about as weak a hand you can have, right? I mean, just about.
Although Alessio's hand wasn't great either. So actually, this is pretty unclear. This is 11 points, plays, let me see, 8. Yeah, it's level, I think, unless that was a promotion. Was that a promotion? That was a yellow card. So there's two rooks. Black has 2 rooks here.
Yeah, that was exciting. That was a very exciting last game.
Wow. It just could have gone either way, that one, at any moment.
But still, 1-0 Miss Botez. So it's still not. He hasn't got a W yet. He's fighting here, trying to finish it off. But if he doesn't win, he would be at a deficit 12K to 8K. You can see the pot 12,000. Alessio's 8,000 behind. Miss Botez is all in this particular instance. So this is must win for her, or else we're going to go to 1-1.
There goes a black rook. That's the first heavy piece of the game in the placement phase. Threatening to come down here and cause some trouble. Those pawns on the right-hand side are pretty weird, Jeff. That's not where I'd put pawns. They don't really make any sense to me. Those black pawns make a lot more sense, all connected. That was what Bill did very effectively, I believe, in one of his games. Last week, he put that, what we call a pawn chain.
Mm-hmm. I think Miss Botez knows at this time that she has an opponent. She's got a formidable opponent. He's not no slouch. He can play, and she knows that she's got to bring her A game if she wants to get through here.
Well, she's pretty much outgunned here. She's down what we call 2 exchanges. That's to say a rook for a bishop or a knight. So although they've both got a knight, Miss Botez with bishop and knight against Alessio's 2 rooks. Goodness. he should be able to win this game. Although knights, as we said, knights are tricky. And we've got this fantastic setup here again of those two knights connected. Okay, she's, of course, as soon as I say that, she disconnects them. That's a beautiful piece in the center of the board. Beautiful, beautiful piece. Very powerful, cancelling that guy. So in comes the rook, starting to stare at that pawn. Well, he's looking a little frustrated, Alessio, I wonder.
I think she's still worried about the disconnect there, right? That was still pretty upsetting to go out like that.
There's a possibility of a knight check here at some point. Probably doesn't do much, but one of the things is that when your opponent's got a white squared bishop that's radiating power in all directions, like this bishop is on most directions, you kind of want to keep a lot of your pieces on black squares because then they're not vulnerable to being captured by the white bishop. Okay, rook goes down. Seems to me that white has, although white has fewer pieces, or at least lower valued pieces, I should say, the setup is incredibly strong. It's very hard to break down. It's like a fortress, and I can see Alexandra as she's trying to set up a fortress. So bishop goes in there to give that pawn double protection. I think the sweet spot is definitely this pawn here. This is the weakness. This is the weakness that black has to try and focus on. Okay, king attacks the rook, one square, rook runs away. Check to the king. Doesn't really do very much. She'll just pop it back. You see, that's a nice move. That's the up and down move that you play and use up no time at all. Right, knights need to defend each other. Well played. Solid play. Or knights are being broken up now. Now, this is a winning chance. Rook takes pawn. Rook takes pawn. Yes, she's seen it. I wonder if Alessio's seen it. He's seen it. This is a big material win. This should be on the chessboard. On the chessboard, this should lead to victory for black. Because if knight takes rook, then the other rook comes in, giving check to the king, and then takes the knight on the rebound. Here he comes. Here he comes. Take the knight on the rebound.
For cover.
Yeah, she knows it. She knows it. Now, it doesn't matter what he does. It doesn't need to keep the rook. He might as well just swap the rook for the pawn and the bishop. He's done it. He's sacrificed it. Now it's just a massive material disparity. It's knight and 3 pawns, which is 6 points against 1. Easiest winning plan is to get those extra pawns down the board, make a queen, deliver checkmate. He should be able to do that, but he's only got, 24 seconds to do it? But look how quickly he's playing. He's playing 2 or 3 moves every second. This is the technique you need, because in theory, I would say he should be able to finish this game in about 15 moves, and that would only be about 5 seconds at the speed he's playing. He's going for a checkmate. Careful, there was nearly a stalemate there, but he avoided it. Well played. The next pawn is coming down to deliver the execution. Okay, here comes the G-pawn. G-pawn going to make a queen. Yep, makes a queen. Okay, now, has he got the technique to finish this? Has he got the technique to finish this? Needs to get the king to follow the black king, to follow the white king, excuse me. Oh, she's taken his knight. I'm not sure that's such a good idea, strangely enough, for reasons I'll explain in the break. What's he doing? He's doing about it completely the wrong way. He completely got it wrong. He's going to run out of time. 2.3, 2.5. No, he's not going to do it in the time. It's going to be a stalemate. It's going to be a stalemate. He can mate in about 4. Yeah, he lost it. Oh, that was a missed opportunity. That was a missed opportunity.
And she's, look at the tail of the 2 faces there. She's ecstatic, and he knows it. Now we got pieces again. Here we go. Big.
Gosh, no rest for the wicked. Yep.
Man.
No rest for the wicked.
Wow, right back into it. So this is, again, getting the money's worth today. This is quite a battle. We're still on. This is only the second clash here.
Second clash. Yeah.
It's crazy. We've been playing for almost 45 minutes, and this has been the most drawn out for sure in terms of really close games, draws, disconnects. We've had all of it.
Your prediction was absolutely spot on.
They're really battling.
We're getting a lot more choker tonight.
We do see an all-in again. Jeff. Yeah, it's in. So this is 12K again. Miss Botez at risk. If Alessio were not to win here, he would still have 8K. But this is to get it to 1-1. If Alessio can close it out, we will go to the third clash. If not, we're going to see another portion of this clash. So let's see piece-wise.
Right.
It looks relatively even.
Why is she putting that pawn on the edge there? It's so weird. I'm going to ask her about that if she wins it. I don't get that at all. Absolutely don't understand why you would stick a pawn on the edge of the board randomly like that. If only, it's always like trolling trolling the opponent. That's quite honest, frankly. You know, I can put a pawn wherever I want. I'm so good.
Yeah, you did mention that last week, that's not optimal play. Maybe with her pieces, the specific pieces she has, it makes some sense. But
it makes no sense.
We're reaching for, can't defend it. Can't defend
so
the play.
We've got a yellow promoted pawn there as a rook, I think, that Alessio has, right? But neither side have a queen again.
So we did get word that it was Alessio was his server that lost the connection. Just to be clear, that was a lost connection. Lost it to the server. So yeah, well, you know, here we are. I mean, it is still 1-0, and still putting pieces.
Alexandra blocking the long diagonal there. It's interesting. I was saying just how I didn't understand this pawn, but it's turning out not to be so bad because neither side has a queen. But if Alessio had actually drawn a queen, then you know she would have wanted that pawn near her king. But it's sticking that out on a limb there. It's a bit vulnerable to capture. It's not really going anywhere. Okay, the last black rook.
Interesting. We got a really consolidated board.
Maybe to put it on a7 behind the pawn so the pawn can start moving forward. That might be an option. But this bishop is attacked, so maybe put it on a7, covers the bishop. No, she's going for counterattacking the white bishop. That's interesting. Not sure that's such a great idea, is it? Doesn't that lose?
Miss Botez board looks very spaced out, whereas Alessio is very consolidated.
No, if there's something we've learned, it's play compact. She's blundered, actually, I think.
Yeah, it looks like
rook takes bishop, and then rook to the back and win a rook. So she could play rook takes bishop. He plays rook. Miss Botez plays rook takes bishop, and then rook check. Okay, but in any case, it's not happened like that. He missed it. Oh, he missed a winning chance on the first move. So.
Yeah, I would have. Well, yeah, it's maybe that's strange. I don't see why I wouldn't just sink it.
He missed it. He just missed it. So there was a check. The king got out of the way. This is actually Miss Botez's signature tune. You know, this pawn and king configuration, just making a bit of space and then moving. But I say it's Miss Botez's configuration. Of course, it's Alessio who's copied it from her in earlier games here. Okay, so now these rooks are coordinated. Two rooks together are very powerful. Rooks are worth 5 each, but two rooks working together actually make 11 in chess. E5, good move attacking the bishop. Somehow Miss Botez has to get this pawn going. I don't know quite how she does it, because this knight is very well placed. Whoa.
What, again?
That looks like a disconnection to me, because there was no chess reason. Okay, we're waiting for a decision from the arbiter.
Seeing the drama today. We're getting some outside factors. Okay, so according to the rules, a point to Alex. The server has confirmed Alessio did lose connection. So yeah, 2-0. And again, got a root for him. Hope he can sort this out. Hopefully, who knows? Could be weather, could be out of his control, could be random, but for whatever reason, he is not having the most solid connection. And in the choker streets, that is part of it. You gotta have it. This isn't a live battle. This is there is some side factors. So let's hope that his server holds and he gets to show us what he's got, because so far I've been pretty impressive just based on some of his ability in plays and situations. 2-0. And here we go. We're underway. So this is clash number 3. Miss Botez, Alexandra Botez is up 2-0. We'll see the betting phase. So very important component of the game. There's luck. This is the luck portion, getting your pieces, getting a strong hand to start. So we do see a queen and a pawn for Alessio. So he's got to like it. Nice to get a queen. And all in. We're seeing Blast getting right into it. So there's a 20,000 chip pot. We see an all-in and a call, and that is it. This is going to be must-win now. This is either Alexandra Botez takes this down, and this is all we wrote today, or we will see a 2-1 in the clash and go to a game 4. So this is clash 4. This is it. This is win or go home officially for Alessio. I guess a draw would also send us to continue playing, but this is a must-win situation for Alessio.
Gosh, all in.
Yeah, right to it.
All in. Both sides have a queen.
Yep, pretty good hints here.
Okay, we're seeing sounder pawn placements here. We're seeing sounder pawn placements, pawns near the king. But both sides have got a queen to come into play, which we'll probably see coming in at the end. Keep your queen in reserve. Now, where's that knight going to go? I would maybe put it on, okay, it's gone on the edge of the board. I'd have probably put it nearer the king. I'd have probably put that knight nearer the king. I'm not sure I like the knight where it is.
Now, Malcolm, are there forums so far? Is there strategy talk? Are people chatting about placements and such? Is there any manuals or discussions on this stuff, or is this pretty much so new that people are just sort of figuring it out as they go?
Yeah, it's very much a developing science, although International Chess Master Byron Jacobs has written a kind of a choker manual. Byron used to be a professional chess player and then became a professional poker player, so he's had a good look into it. But placements generally, I think it's just something that we're learning as we go along. I've been learning from all the players so far in these first 4 match days. But what I do like, though, generally speaking, I think being compact, there's an awful lot to being compact, just keeps the king safe. So pawn chains are really important. Connected knights are really important. Just you've got to decide. And also setting up horrible threats is also important. You can see Alexandra laughing. She likes that. She's threatening to play checkmate, or at least not checkmate because the knight could block it, but get in on the first move. But actually, look at that. Same thing's happened to her. Wow, goodness me. So, king's in check. Queen checking the king. You can see the king is illuminated on the board in choker in our display when it's in check. I'm just showing those of you relatively new to chess how it's a check. So the ABC in chess, avoid, block, or capture to get out of check. That was a block. Nice move. Now, could check again down there. Could check again down there. That would be possible. Or he could just whip that pawn off, although that would mean giving up the initiative. No, he's done it. Taken the pawn because his queen is now defending the rook. Oh, that was the move I was alluding to earlier. Queen goes in, but knight can block, so it's not checkmate. It would be. Gosh, it looks to me like he hadn't seen it, but he's okay. Now maybe bishop g3 check would be an evil one here. No, check from the side. Oh, even better. Nice move. Nice move, Miss Botez. That's a knight that's going to go, and then a pawn's going to go on the rebound, then another pawn's going to go. Wow, we're talking about a cascade of captures here. Alessio is going to lose all his pieces. I think he's going to lose, well, all his pieces. He's going to lose lots of his pieces. Certainly, I can see a knight and 2 pawns going in quick succession. Here goes the knight, everybody. Bang. Wow. And there goes the pawn. There goes the pawn, everybody.
This looks...
Bang. Yeah, and the king's on the run. Look at this. Run for your life. And as soon as he thinks he's got out of it, it'll be time for these knights maybe to come into play. The only chance that Alessio has here that his queen is kind of in the vicinity of the black king. Miss Botez got to be a little bit careful. She could get hit on the rebound there. So at the moment, the queen is ploughing a bit of a lone furrow doing all these checks. But what about queen here, taking a dominating central position? Yeah, love it. Love it. Now it's time to bring up the reserves. Time to improve the position maybe of this knight or the bishop. Okay, so that's unpleasant. That threat is bishop there. Skewering those 2 pieces, that would be nasty. Queen gives check. Laterally. King goes forward. That's interesting. I would have run away. My instinct always to run away, but all right. Now it's time to bring up these pieces slowly in formation. Time for these knights to come out of their cocoon. Time for them to start coming forward, maybe. Because it's time for black to go on the offense here. White queen check. Is she going to go for an ending? Surely not. It's time to bring these knights in. Bishop there, hitting the queen. Counter check. Oh, nasty. Alessio replies with an attack, with a check, but he's got 14 seconds to 43. She just needs to keep the game going. If she keeps the game going, she will win on time. But I think she missed that. Now queen check is a deadly check. Knight's got to block. Only chance. Knight must block. That's the only way to save this. Yeah, well played. Okay, Rook there, threatening, and well, no, that actually doesn't do anything. I think Alessio may think he's threatening to give check on that square, but it's covered by the bishop. So Miss Botez goes back on the counterattack. Queen check. Every time she checks him, Jeff, it makes him use up another half a second, so she can run down his clock because he's only got 5.9 seconds. Yeah, you see, he loses time every time. That's over. Bishop. Whoa, he's lost his queen. He's given up his queen just to get a few pieces. No, it must be over. It must be over.
And there you have it, just like that.
So there it is. That's official confirmation. Alessio ran out of time. He ran out of pieces. He ran out of time. He ran out of pieces, and he's run out of chips. It's 3-0 to Miss Botez, who goes through to the semifinals.
Yeah, he ran out of internet too, so that was all of it. He had all of the runouts, but I will say that is for sure a guy I wouldn't want to battle if I'm in the choker streets and get him in a random draw. He seems like a tough cookie and definitely knows what he's doing. And really, I admire that he didn't get upset. Showed, he was smiling, having a good time, and of course, Miss Botez knows what she's doing as well. So that was a battle, and I think we'll see more of Alessio in the future. I'm sure he'll be playing and competing, and hopefully gets another chance down the line.
Yeah, I mean, all credit to him. He showed some real skill on the chessboard at certain times. I think maybe he was just a little bit rusty on the on the speed chess. I got the impression that some of his technique wasn't quite up to it when it came to certainly finishing or defending or just playing moves instantly. But he put up a real battle against someone who plays a lot of speed chess for a living. So it certainly would have been hard for him in normal circumstances, but he did well. It wasn't one-sided. It was certainly the longest choker match we've had so far, right? Compared with the other three.
Yeah, even with the one going 3-2 with Bill and Matt, this was, I believe, longer and very exciting nonetheless.
And Jeff, thanks very much indeed for commentating again. Look forward to seeing you next week for our first semi-final between Eric Rosen. I'm Eric Rosen and Rafael Santos. I'm really looking forward to that. And thanks again. It's been it's been a really great night of choker.
Thank you very much. I agree. Really exciting.
Yeah, great performance.
Oh, thank you so much. I feel like I got a little bit lucky. I wasn't thinking of the disconnect strategy when I was playing, but I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, it was maybe one of the best strategies in choker is to have a word with your opponent's internet provider in advance. But I think, though, that generally you were better on the chessboard. I felt that your blitz technique was better. And also your piece placement was extremely clever and almost, I would say, devious at some points. I mean, you could see some real sneaky threats coming in there with the queen placements. And although, what was this idea of putting the pawn on a5? It was a bit off the wall in one of the games. What was the thinking behind that?
I was just trying to have an outside pass pawn for one of the games because I kept putting the pawns in the center and I felt like I couldn't make much progress. I thought that would make it more interesting for an endgame. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it would make it interesting for an endgame, but what bothered me was, like, what happens if he's got a queen? I was sort of thinking, well, it could be really good for an endgame, but it's that old, was it that old saying, before the endgame, the gods would place the middle game?
That's true.
It worked.
I guess it was less likely, though, that there would be a queen, that he would have a queen, so... Yeah.
You were right.
Or I hoped he didn't. I hoped he didn't, exactly.
Oh, that's really, really okay. I think that's probably some of the deepest strategy we've had in choker so far, because kind of combining the betting with the chess placement to come up with an overall strategy. So that's really interesting.
And
you feel that we're kind of learning.
Situation, I was trying to flag him as well.
Oh yeah, well, you certainly did. You certainly did. There was one moment, wasn't there, when he was trying to checkmate you with what, queen, knight, and pawn, I think.
Yeah, and he almost got me. He almost got me. I blundered the game. I played it poorly. I think I got distracted. I'm gonna blame my distractions on trying to talk to my chat at the same time, even though I know that's not fair.
Well, I'm amazed that you can multitask this. I mean, okay, I understand that you can stream chess. You know, you've only got to worry about chess and the chat and the stream. But here you've got to worry about chess, poker, chat, and the stream. I mean, this is ultimate in multitasking. Surely there are so many different things so many balls to juggle in the air at the same time. It's just fantastic to watch you do that, and at speed. Did you have a strategy when he was trying to checkmate you with his queen, knight, and pawn? Because I saw you just ran with your king to the end of the board, like almost instantly. Was that like deliberate, or was just like play any move?
Yeah, because the longer I would take to make a move, the longer he would have to make a pre-move. So even though I had like 30 seconds on the clock or so, if I make the pre-move instantly, it gives him less time to react as well.
Right. Oh, some serious blitz chess technique there. Fantastic.
You know what? Bullet is one of my favorite time controls. So.
You play a lot of bullet. Okay, yeah. Well,
yeah,
I think
exactly.
we saw the bullet skills come out there. So for those people watching on the official Choker stream, bullet chess is where you have 1 minute for all your moves. It's absolutely crazy. I play it myself, but after 4 or 5 games, I'm just finished. I can't take it anymore. But it looks to me like you developed some of the key skills for Choker in those bullet games. Well, thank you so much for taking part in this. We're looking forward to seeing you in the semifinals. I'm sure you have a great chance.
It was a blast. Thank you so much. Do you know already who I'm going to be playing in the semifinals?
Wow, that's a very good question. I think that you're probably playing Bill Perkins.
Okay, because that's what my chat was telling me, so I'm really looking forward to it. That's going to be fun because I know he's an incredible poker player, but I actually just looked him up on chess.com, and I don't know how accurate this is, but it says that his bullet is 991 and his blitz is 1200. So I'm really just going to try and take advantage on the chessboard.
Yeah, I think that you're stronger at chess than him, but of course he's been very successful in poker. He's won a huge amount of money in poker. So if you can survive the betting phase, I think he'll certainly be better in the chess phase. Although what we noticed when he played was he just got better and better as the match went on in chess. Mm-hmm. So and he plays quite a lot of chess, casual chess. But yeah, you'll be superior. So yeah, you need to make that count. One thing, by the way, don't watch his video. Don't watch his video because he plays from his boat. And his boat is like going up and down in the water. If you see that, you can sort of get slightly, slightly hypnotized by.
So maybe if he's playing on a boat, then I should just try to use the Wi-Fi gambit once again in the next match.
Yeah, that's right. Maybe a frogman in the water or something. Or he's probably on wireless. But yeah, I think
your broadcast finished like as soon as you started.
Oh, did my broadcast finish? Okay. Sorry, I think maybe it stopped.
Maybe they cut us off.
Oh no, it shows that I'm live still.
Okay.
On my stream. Sorry, that was my dad who came in the background. He's a fan of the game as well, so he's been watching.
And an unofficial production assistant, evidently. Yeah. So if you're playing Bill, yeah, just keep your eyes off the boat, because I found myself when I was trying to commentate, I could see him going up and down every time the waves are coming. I was trying to focus on the chessboard while he was moving up and down. It was real difficult. But yeah, he's a decent chess player, very, very decent chess player. But
yeah, I think, absolutely,
you'll have the edge there. Right. Well, until we see you in the semifinals, thanks so much for playing Choker.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me, and I'm really looking forward to it.